Are you like me and you like to see how things have changed? Well, come on with me and let's take a ride down the Branson Strip and see how things have changed since 1987.
If your family has ever visited Branson, I'm sure you've seen many changes from year to year, but do you remember what it looked like before the boom of the 1990s? Our family started coming to Branson in 1976, then we moved here in 1993, and we've seen many changes over the years, some good, some not so good. Our family always enjoys looking at old photos, so recently we started searching for old photos of the Strip to see what we could recall, but we didn't have much luck until now. We would like to say a very special thank you to My Corner Online YouTube channel for allowing us to use snapshots from their family's 1987 home movie where they drove down the Strip. Without their permission, this look back in time for us would not be possible. If you would like to see the entire home movie, we place a link to it in the description below. Be sure to keep track of how many changes as we go down the Strip that you remember. And if you're like me, I'm sure you'll notice how far advanced our video cameras are today compared to 1987. As we round the corner, you'll see a large empty paved area. You may remember Mazzio's Pizza, a flea market, a craft supply store, and a beauty salon being here. These buildings, along with the Hillbilly Inn, which is across the street, were hit by the EF2 tornado that hit the Strip during the night of February the 29th, 2012. All of these buildings have since been torn down. How many of you have ever eaten at the Hong Kong buffet? This was originally a Kentucky Fried Chicken. On the left, now the Veterans Memorial Museum, was where Jesse James Motel was located. Coming up on the right, where the Farm and Auto Museum is located today, was once the English Block Craft Mall and Pizza Hut. Their parking lot area was where the Ozark Mountain Inn and the Silver Fountain Hotel were located. Across the street where Hertz Donuts and the Dick Clark Celebrity Theater is now was originally Bob's Dairyland and the Ozark Family Restaurant and Gift Shop. Do you remember the Down Under Bar and Grill? We loved that place, it was so much fun. Dolly Parton Stampede. In 1987, this property was home to the Copper Penny Restaurant, Adam's Rib Barbecue, a go-kart track, and bumper boats. Coming up on the right, what is now known as Music City Theater was originally called the Branson Opera House. A home of Famous Dave's Barbecue, in 1987 it was a Hardee's. Now I'm sure many of you have been to Grand Country Square, but did you get to go to it when it was originally called the 76 Music Hall? On the left, where Starbucks is now, is where another building that was destroyed by the tornado, JR's Motor Inn, was located. Now from this point until we get to Walmart, both sides of the road were mostly trees, as you can see here. Today, when you round the corner by Walmart, your attention is drawn to the huge tower swings and the mountain coaster. Originally, this is where one of Branson's first water slides, along with the 3D theater dome, were located. Just past the Dome, you would find Jumpin' Jack's Theater, later known as the Thunderbird Theater, but today it's an empty lot. Do you remember the Foggy River Boys? On the right here is the Grand Victorian Hotel. This is where the Foggy River Boys Theater was once located. And across the road from the theater was Ride the Ducks. Here's another quick look to see what the Ducks look like with one of the original motels that was located right next to it. As we round this corner today, we see Andy Williams Theater, the Dockside Restaurant, Dairy Queen, the Aquarium at the Boardwalk, and the shops at the Grand Village, along with several other businesses across the street. In 1987, this area was mostly empty except for the Dairy Queen and what looks to be a miniature golf course. Here on the right, where the Longhorn Steakhouse and Wonderworks are today, is where the Music Country Motor Inn and the original Ballnauer Theater were located. Today, on the left, what's now known as Landry Seafood was once the original Presley's Cafeteria. Coming up on the right, now the Americana Theater, was originally the Plummer Family Country Music Show, and sitting next to the theater was the Thunderbird Inn, a glass and rock shop, along with Ben's Wishing Well Inn. The area just ahead of us is where most people notice the most changes. Starting on the left, you surely can't miss King Kong on top of the Empire State Building. What is now home for the Hollywood Wax Museum was once home of the Jesse James Wax Museum. This area was also home of the Riverboat Motel, Campbell's Ozark Jubilee, which is now Beyond the Lens, Ma Craig's Restaurant, a go-kart track, and arcade. Across the street from these long-gone businesses, you would find Ozark Land Gift Shop, which is still there today, and Bobolink Theater, which today is home for the Clay Cooper Theater. Now here's something I remembered as a kid, but I could never remember exactly where it was located until seeing their home movie. I remember climbing this lookout tower once and being so scared that all my muscles seemed to lock up, and I didn't know if I'd be able to climb back down. Today it is where the Pink Jeep Tours, Domino's Pizza, and Ruby Tuesday are located. Where Ripley's Believe It or Not is located today were several old motels. Across the street from these motels, where the giant Ferris wheel sits today, was once a safari-themed mini-golf. This is the second area where most changes can be seen. On the left, where the slime factory is today, was once the location of the Corn Crib Theater. You can still see the Jim Stafford marquee standing by a huge empty space today, but in 1987, this area was home to the Lowe's Country Music Theater and another theater I can't find the name of. If you remember, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to know. Here on the right side of the strip between Mickey Gilley Theater and Whitewater, this blue and white building was home to the country music world. Now Now take a look at Whitewater today compared to 1987. The giant slides have multiplied and even changed color. Across the street from Whitewater was the Boxcar Willie Theater and a second location for Pizza Hut. Now just around the corner from Pizza Hut on the left, the vacant spot today was once home of Cheese-Eye Child's Starlight Theater. Now this area ahead didn't have much on it in 1987, mostly just trees and billboards. On the left you'll find Dickens Craft Mall. This business had been here for many years, but due to the effects of COVID, they had to shut their doors. Here on the right was home to the Silver Slipper Motel. Most of the things that we see here in this area were not here in the late 80s. How many of you remember Mutton Hollow Craft Village? Almost the entire area to the left was a small craft village for crafters, shops, shows, restaurants, rides, and games. There was no admission fee to enter the property, so our family was visit there as much as we could. Now let's head on out to the Shepherd of the Hills area. Today at the Shepherd of the Hills area, you'll find Old Matt's Cabin, many shops and daytime shows, the 230-foot tall Inspiration Tower with a zip line from the top, a massive rope course, trail rides, and of course we can't forget the outdoor amphitheater. But in 1987, there were only a couple of gift shops, a trail ride, Old Matt's Cabin, and the outdoor play. Now let's jump back down toward the historic downtown Branson to see even more changes. One huge change you will see at first is the giant water tower standing high above the trees on the corner of Highway 65 and 76. We will see what the old tower used to look like in just a moment. The old water tower was so much smaller back then. As we cross over Highway 65 and head towards downtown, there are a few things that jump out at us today that weren't here in 1987. There was a McDonald's on the left, what is now Steak and Shake was an Arby's, and we haven't been able to confirm this, but we think there was a Wendy's on the right, just as it is today. Today, as we start heading down the hill into historic downtown Branson, we see the massive Hilton Hotel and the Branson Landing. But these were only added in 2006. Before 2006, downtown Branson was known for the Sammy Lane Resort and its huge swimming pool, lakeside parking and fishing docks, a community swimming pool, a softball field, many great shops and restaurants.
It's always fun to look back, especially 36 years ago, and see how things looked back then compared to what they look like today. I hope you enjoyed the video. and let's see what another 36 years brings.